Right, there we go. It is, holy smokes, it's May 6th. We just missed Cinco de Mayo by a day. And the band is all here, and I see Russell is looking sharp. You must have got a new camera.
Yeah, actually, I'm working from home today. You're
Oh,
not going to believe what I got.
uh-oh, you got the COVID?
Kidney stones.
Oh, shit.
I was in pain over the weekend. I went to the emergency room and it said, "You got a kidney stone." I'm like, "Oh, great." So I
Oh,
just went for a follow-up to a neurologist and he says, "No, they're wrong. You don't have one kidney stone. You have five."
yeah, yeah, they never come in singles.
Yeah.
I've had
I,
many over the last few years, and boy, I have a whole new respect for giving birth.
oh, yeah. Yeah. You've had it before?
Yep, yep. I have had several. The
Oh, boy.
first one was absolutely frightening. I thought I was just coming apart. I had
Yeah.
no idea what was going on, and it was uh, it was not fun.
That's how I felt.
Well, drink lots of cranberry juice and water, and that will help move things along.
Yeah, that's what they say. So we'll see. I'll
It,
keep you posted.
it does for sure, because you definitely want to move that along as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well,
I'm
anyway,
here for the send-off party. I hear you're going away.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of temporarily going away. I'm actually just going to San Diego for a conference here today, and then I'll be back on Friday, and then I actually leave the country Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
I'll be officially off of the U.S. shores for a couple of weeks.
Where
And
are you
you have your
going?
real ID?
I have real ID, passports, everything. The only thing I don't have is vaccinations, and that's going to happen over my cold, dead body. Any place that requires a vaccine, I just don't need to go there.
Oh,
So, oh well. But yeah, that'll be fun, and we will have. So for a couple of weeks here, you guys will have Brady and Connie at the helm, and I have an exciting. I know Brady's got some really cool stuff that he's going to share with you guys on one of the calls, and another one. He doesn't know this yet, but I'm setting him up for a training with image generation that's going to be really cool. I'm uh, I'm about to bring on two new tools in the Quantum Suite. One of them, well, both of them have actually been asked for on multiple occasions. And one of them is going to be an image prompt creator that will help create a prompt because everybody sees all my images and they're like, oh my God, those are so much better than mine. And any time with AI, whether it's an image or text or anything, it is all about the prompts. One of the things that I have done really successfully in the quantum tools is I've written wrappers around each tool that has a lot of my prompting in it. So you just have to kind of seed it. And even with the image tools as well. But you can get so much more detailed in the prompts for the images depending on the image that you want. So I'm gonna build like an image prompting tool for that. So you'll be able to go and actually get a prompt and then put it into the Act Imager, create your image, and then if your image isn't perfect, the next one, you guys are going to love this. It's going to be an image retouching tool. So you could actually load your image and tell it how you want the image changed. That way you can totally dial it in. Because a lot of times, you'll get an image and it's like almost perfect. But it's like, oh, if I could only just change this little thing, and then you try and regenerate, you get a totally different image. It's not even close to being the same. So with the image retouching tool, you'll actually be able to edit and modify the existing image. And then after you've retouched your image and it's totally dialed in, then you'll be able to take it to Clipster and animate it. And that is just going to be a really cool 4-part sequence. And by next week, Brady's going to have that dialed in. Or the week after. I don't know which one he'll do first. He's got some really cool music stuff to share with you guys, and he's actually him and Connie have both been kind of embracing the fact that everybody out there should be making money. Connie did her little thing, taking in private consulting, and now Brady is actually starting to build some tools, some cool tools and trainings and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see that everyone is jumping on board, even my crew. so so that's going to be pretty cool. So those tools are on the horizon. You'll have those by the end of the week. I'll be back. If I don't do them while I'm down there, I'll do them when I get back on Friday, and that'll be available for you guys. So cool stuff. So anybody got any questions? Anything you want me to address, or you're stuck, or you're not sure which direction to go? All right, come on. You guys can't all be just totally dialed in here.
All right, I'll jump in.
Okay, Gregory.
So John and I had our session, and I am like super paranoid about being spammed, and also too like I got to SendGrid and didn't know like what do you put this DNS the DNS numbers? What do you put in this code? Where do you copy that? I mean, I was like ready to throw in the towel, and John kicked butt and got me through it. And I just want to reach out my appreciation before he leaves us. That I am elated. I already wrote my first copy for my SendGrid campaign to go out. And one of the things that came up, and there's a friend of mine. We known each other many, many, many years, and I never really. He told me he taught me something that I didn't know, and John validated it. That's this: when you send out your first email, you don't put in the links and you don't put in images. You just say, if you're interested, reply yes. And it was like, wow. And then John said this morning that that reduces the spam, um, whatever, the spam,
Spam
the spam
score.
targeting. Or yeah. So John, pick it up from there. But thank you, John. I am so elated. And right after we got off our call, I wrote my thing, and now I'm going to have Perplexity check it out, and Genius, Email Genius, check it out, and then I'll start launching.
All
Thank
right,
you.
cool. Yeah, so what Gregory had going on was he had a list of prospects that had not opted in yet officially. So that's cold email, which could, it walks a very fine line of spam, sending out cold emails. What I always tell everybody is do not send cold email through your Kartra account or if you've got an account that you're running your business on, whether it be Go High Level or ClickFunnels or Kartra or Kajabi or whatever you're using, it doesn't matter. Don't send cold spam emails out through those systems because that system is what runs your business. And two things that are very bad could happen. And I know with Kartra, they're very strict about email policies. So if you send out to a cold list and enough emails either bounce because they were no good or people complain, they'll just shut your account down. They don't shut your entire Kartra account down, but your ability to mail through them. And that's a really important thing to be able to email your customers. So you don't want that. The the other thing that can happen is if you get whether you're using Kartra or not, you could be using a bulk program like SendGrid or Mailgun or any of those that do allow cold email. But the thing is, when you're sending cold email through your domain, if you have a high spam score, you'll get low delivery, which means you could send 100 emails and only 5 of them might get through. That's not good. So you want to keep your email score high. You want that to be good quality. So one of the things that they kind of measure and keep track of is the spam score. And it basically controls your deliverability rates. So one of the things that you have to do, which Gregory went through this morning, is you have to validate your email through DNS. So if you're using Kartra or using a third party mailer to send mail and you don't have the DNS records in there to validate, you're going to send a bunch of email and it's not going to go through and you're not going to know it. So that's really important. Whoever is your hosting provider for your email should be able to do these DNS records for you. And I'm Gregory's host for his email for his website, so I was able to do that for him, no problem. But you generate these validation records, whether you're in Kartra or Go High Level or whatever, send those to your hosting provider to put those in for you. If you're tech savvy and you manage your own DNS, you can go in and put them in yourself. It's just copy and paste, super simple stuff. But if not, I know a lot of you don't know anything about DNS and you don't need to. All you need to know is whoever hosts your website should handle that for you. And they just need to know the information that you need put in there. So send it to them. If they don't do it or they give you guff about that, they're not a good host and you should probably find one that will take care of you. So the other thing, once you're all set up and you're validated and all that, it's still important to keep that email deliverability high. And you guys sometimes will see me do this and it's a little bit of a trick. Like every week I send out the email reminders for this call. And I don't expect anybody to respond to those emails, right? It's not me asking you a question or anything like that. It's just an email that goes out, reminds you the call, and you get on the call. If I send too much email out that nobody responds to, that will lower my score. So every once in a while, you'll see I'll send you an email and say, hey, can you ping me back and just let me know you got this? And then I get a whole bunch of people that send me, yes, got it, got it, got it. That improves my email deliverability score when emails get responded to. So keep that in mind. If you're regularly communicating with people that don't respond, give them a reason to email you back. That will help your deliverability. The other thing is if you send all of your email out with links in it, that's a sign that you're a marketer or you're spamming or whatever, and that pushes your score down. So what Gregory said is the first email out, don't put a link in it. Put in there like what you've got, and hey, if you're interested, just let me know. I'll send you the link. This way, they've opened your email. That's another thing. If you send out boring email and nobody opens it, that's like the kiss of death. That means they've ignored your email, and that puts an even bigger negative mark on you. So the things that you've got going for you to keep your email reputation good is open rate, how many people actually open your email to look at them. So you want to put, stuff in the subject line. Your subject line is what governs how many people are going to open your email. If you have dull, boring subject lines, they're always the same. They might just get overlooked. I know for a long time putting emojis and stuff in your subject lines would grab people's attention and get them to open it. But at this point, that's been overused. Now, when I see a subject line that's got emojis in it, it's like, okay, I know this is spam. So I don't open it. So something that once worked well now works well against you. So don't think that whatever you're doing, whatever tactic you're doing that's working today is going to work forever. It's not. Things will become norm and they go away. Their tendency is to decline, not increase. So a couple of other things that can really get your deliverability up is referencing things that are time sensitive. Referencing, and this is a good one. I've used this a lot in marketing is I'll put video enclosed or video inside. What that means is, oh, there's a video. Now I've created FOMO. They want to know what the video is, so they have to open it to see it. They have to open it to get the link. The other thing, once they open it, now we've moved to the next set of criteria. Do they respond? Do they actually click a link? Like, so let's say everybody opens your email and there's a link there and no one clicks on it. That's a pretty good signal that it's irrelevant. And irrelevant is not good for email deliverability. They keep track of everything. And they've got this wonderful thing called AI that makes it really easy for them to track you. So keep that in mind. If you put a link in there, make sure you put a good call to action so they actually click the link. If you're not going to do that, just don't put a link at all. A good thing is, like I've done this too. This is a little trick. You say, there's a link to the video inside the email. They open the email and there's no link. What does that do? That gets them to send you an email, say, hey, where's the link? So it's a blunder, but it's a calculated blunder and it works in your favor. So it's like, I don't know if you guys realize or not, but when you're marketing, you are creating mousetraps. And the mice keep getting smarter. So your trap has to keep getting better. You've got to evolve the trap. If you don't, you're not going to catch any mice and you might as well retire that game, right? If you can't win, why play? So think of yourselves as advanced mice catchers. There's always a better way to catch the mouse. So just keep that in mind. All of your emails should be as engineered as your marketing campaigns. There's lots of tools, there's lots of technology to help you with this with AI. We've got the big idea creator, we've got hook lines. There's a tool in Quantum called hook lines that will help you come up with attention grabbing headlines for your subjects. So lots of stuff that will help you with all of this. But keep in mind, when you're crafting your emails for your marketing, you're trying to, number one, get them opened. Number two, get them consumed and get some sort of call to action. You don't want somebody to just look at your email and just throw it in the trash, right? Those are not good signals. So a call to action would be to click a link, to reply. Those are really what you're shooting for. You either want a response to your email or you want to click. You want an action taken. So lots of ways to do that. Um, I've seen people that do this. I'm not going to say that I'm one of them, but they will put images and the most important part of the image is hidden and it's click here to enlarge and see the whole image. And use your imagination there to imagine what I'm talking about. like one was this one comes to mind. It's a girl with a tube top, right? And the tube top, goes around here. Well, the image was cropped right here. So all you saw was bare. And it's click here to see the rest of the image, right? You click, you get to see her tube top, but that's not what you're thinking you're going to see. Again, it's back to a better mousetrap. And when we're talking about that, it's important to know what your mouse likes, right? This goes back to the avatar. This goes back to analysis in general, figuring out what your market likes, what's important to it, so you can create the right bait to catch this mouse, right? If you're putting food out to attract a mouse that a mouse doesn't like, you're not going to have much luck. And that's where you have to go back into your analysis. You got to figure out, what are they eating? How often do they eat? Where do they eat? If you put the trap out in the middle of a bright lit room, that mouse is going to be a little hesitant to go out there, especially if you've got a cat, right? You got to consider all that stuff. You have to really get inside the head of your mouse and figure out what makes them tick. What do they want? Why do they want it? What are they afraid of? Perry Belcher, I absolutely love when he talks about writing copy, and he says you have to take the whiskers off the cheese. He said when you're creating a lead magnet or you're doing a free giveaway, they're always going to be hesitant because there's whiskers on the cheese. The mouse sees the cheese and he likes it, he wants it, but then he sees whiskers coming out the back of it. He knows there's a cat back there and he's going to get eaten, right? So now all of a sudden, the cheese is no longer worth the risk. And what I'm referring to and what Perry's referring to is the risk of them putting their email out for you. You got to take the whiskers off the cheese. So, one way you can do that is when you have an opt-in, micro commitments will help remove the whiskers from the cheese. And what I'm referring to as a micro commitment is they only have to make a single solitary decision, one at a time, little decisions moving them toward where you want them to go. So imagine somebody comes to your website. You've got a free ebook of whatever it is. It's of high value, but then to the right of it, you have the form where they see clearly they have to put their name and their email address in and whatever other information that you are requesting before you give them the free thing, and then the click button. If they see all of that, that's not a micro commitment. They're having to make multiple decisions. The first decision is, do I want the thing? The second decision is, oh, do I want them to have my name? Do I want them to have my email address? Now you've got three decisions right out of the gate. Now you've got a fourth big decision of, oh, well, is it worth me giving them my email and name to get this thing? That's not decisions you want them to be making. All you want them to make is the decision of, yes, I want that, right? And there should be nothing but a button there to click to get it, right? No form. They don't see the form yet. They do not see the whiskers behind the cheese. All they see is the thing they want and the button to get it. That's a micro commitment. That will increase your rates incredibly. So now you're thinking, well, I still have to get their name and email, right? That's a second decision. And again, it's a single solitary decision. And you can make it, if you position it this way, you can make it where it's not really a decision at all. They click the button and up pops the little opt-in form that says, tell us where to send it. Not put your name and email in, tell us where to send it. So the person just said, yes, I would like that. Now you say, okay, cool. Tell me where to send it. Do you see the difference? That's how you take the whiskers off the cheese. Now, since they've already moved forward, they're already leaning forward. The yes, I want this. Now they're after it. They're coming to get it. Nothing's going to get in their way. But if you have all those decisions up front, they have to make all that decision process before they even decide to move forward. That's where you'll fall off. That's where you'll have so much fall off. You could have 100 people come onto your site and nobody opts in. That's why. You didn't do a micro commitment. And this works like one of the things I've seen a lot of marketers equate this to is dating. This is like, you can think about this. The human mind works the same in all aspects of life. And you can think about how this would work in a dating scenario. It works identically. When you have guys teaching people how to get dates, they teach them micro commitment. They'll tell you you're going to have a horrible ratio if you get a woman and you ask her, hey, would you like to go out to dinner and I'll pick you up at 8? That's a horrible way to get a yes on that opt in. Because think about it. It's not a yes or no. In her mind, she's going, well, do I want to have dinner with this guy? Do I want him to know where I live? Do I want to be in his car till he decides to bring me home? There's a lot going on in that decision process. And most likely she's going to say hell no to one of those things, right? That's not a micro decision. A micro decision or micro commitment is a different approach of, hey, I'm going to be at Starbucks tomorrow at noon. Would you like to come join me for a cup of coffee? That's an easy yes. It's on her terms. She can come or go as she likes. She can leave when she wants. She's not telling you where she lives. That's an easy yes. That's a micro commitment. You took the whiskers off the cheese, right? If you can't get the first yes, you're never going to get what you really want, right? So in marketing, you want the sale. You want to create a customer. You want client acquisition. You know, in the case of the dating game, you want sex or marriage or companionship or whatever it is on the other side of that. Whatever it is that you want, for whatever reason you want it, that's what it comes down to. It's no different. It's absolutely the same. Our brains work the same, whether we're trying, it's where, and this starts when we're born. We have to figure out how to get what we want. A child will cry. If they're hungry, they don't know how to communicate. They can't talk yet. So they'll moan and they'll grunt and they'll cry if they're hungry. They need that to be satisfied, and that's how they figure out how to get it. And they know if I grunt and I cry and hold my stomach and I get fed, guess what they're going to do next time they get hungry? They're going to do the same thing because it worked, right? And that, you've probably all heard of NLP, that is a modeling process. NLP works from the day you're born till the day that you die. And the sharper you are, the quicker and the more things you figure out how to get out of life by modeling something that works. You're modeling patterns. That is it. So for you guys, the sooner you figure out how to model the patterns to get your prospects to do what you want them to do, the quicker and the more successful that you're going to be at it. So, Brian, go ahead.
Hey, John. So my question is this: I've done all the analysis, been through your whole ACT, program, you know, bounced it off a couple of other models as well, and I know where I finally know where I'm going with my offerings, right, and who my ideal client is and all that kind of stuff. The issue is that, or what I'm trying to get clarity on is that my ideal client is like a higher up person in an organization, right? The problem that I solve is the problem that I had when I was in corporate, which is, lack of leadership ability, lack of business acumen in the kind of the mid-level layer of a middle-sized to big-sized company. And you could argue that the same is true for like the higher level of like a small company, the executive level of a small company. So these are the people that I'm really going after aren't even necessarily those people per se. It's the people who would hire me to go train those people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yep.
any email I send out is not going to make it through a corporate filter. It's not going to make it, it's just not. So how does, I guess to ask a broad question, and how does all of this in your system, like I can identify all these things, but how do these systems apply to my problem of getting my message to a kind of a higher level corporate person?
Okay. So what you're focused on there, it's a traffic problem. So this is under the assumption that you figured out who you're talking to, you figured out the messaging, and you just need to deliver the message, right? So that puts us into the traffic bucket. Now, in the traffic bucket, we have to figure out now, where is that mouse showing up? And if you can't, and this is quite common, like what you're talking about in the corporate world, getting your email through, that could be a very tough proposition. So that might not be the most effective way to do it. One of the things that's going to be really important is to figure out that particular buyer, whoever it is. It's probably not the higher ups in the company. It's the one that their job depends on what you're providing them to keep their job and keep those higher ups happy and off of their backs. So that person is probably going to be looking outside the box for their answers. They're probably going to be going to trade shows. They're probably going to be reading trade magazines. They're probably going to be going to industry events. They may be hiring recruiters. They might be on LinkedIn posting. They might actually be posting actual jobs on recruiter.com. So identifying where they are, that's where you want to show up in front of them.
No, that's awesome, because I again really did a deep dive on this, and the real problem. I mean, I narrowed it down to, no kidding, a specific end person. So in my case, and I'll just throw this out as an example, not to bore everybody, but so for me, the problem that I solve is, in a corporate situation, you've got what's called cross-functional program managers, right? Not somebody that manages like a bunch of engineers or a bunch of finance people or a bunch of whatever. They're managing a team of engineers, finance people, contract, blah, blah, blah. And, usually it's over their head.
Oh,
And you see all of these job recs, particularly on LinkedIn, Indeed, pick them, right? Needs to run cross-functional teams. Those are the people that I'm going after. And again, just kind of, okay, how does a lot of what, for example, you teach, and what Craig teaches, for example, all these, our little network, right?
mhm.
It's usually kind of a B2C selling is what a lot of these tools are for. But I'm more B2B, and I've kind of recently figured that out. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
understand how to use. I mean, your tools are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's great. In fact, I want to talk to you about automating some of my stuff at some point. But how do I use those tool sets for more of a B2B that I'm doing? Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the tools, whether it's B2B or B2C, all of the tools in analysis work the same. All of the tools in the creation process work the same. It's the traffic button. That's where you need to shift gears on the B2B. So I would check in LinkedIn specifically. They have a thing called Sales Navigator that will allow you to communicate with the people inside of LinkedIn that can potentially bypass the corporate filters of email. So I would look in there and I would see if LinkedIn has the categories of oh, what did you call it? You had a certain position that they have.
Yeah,
What?
cross-functional program managers.
Yeah, so I would see if they have a category of that inside LinkedIn, and then you can use Sales Navigator to kind of comb through and then communicate with those people. That would be, a way to use LinkedIn to get to them. Another thing is Facebook. I'm assuming most of these people are over 30, probably over 40. So that puts them in the category of they're probably a Facebook user. So you could potentially look on Facebook for two different opportunities. One might be there might be a group on Facebook for those people to discuss their problems and things. I don't know if that exists or not, but I would certainly hunt for it to see if it did. I would use both Perplexity as well as Google to see if there was forums that address the problems that these guys have and try and enter those and penetrate those markets. Facebook also, you might find that there's lookalike audiences available where you could put advertisements in front of them while they're on Facebook. They might not be on Facebook looking for this solution, but they might be on there communicating with their family and friends, and then up pops a very relevant ad that could grab their attention. Another thing is Google or any search engine specifically, if that person, like if you've done your analysis and that person is aware of their problem and they know what to call it, or maybe they call it something that is not what you call it, their language, their specific language, if they're in Google and they're searching specifically for either a product or a solution or symptoms or, anything that has to do with what you have to offer, that could be a good place to advertise. You can do pay-per-click ads. You can get in front of them this afternoon. If you identify, hey, there's a group of people that are on Google and they're searching for this keyword or these set of keywords,
Cool.
you could literally get in front of them today.
Awesome. Great advice. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a really good question because everyone eventually, a lot of you aren't to the point where you need traffic yet, but if you are, that's going to be a very important conversation.
Yeah, well, like I said, I really, in the last no kidding month, I really just no kidding narrowed down to one thing and not chasing all these different, yeah. I'm not chasing all these different funnels. I narrowed it down, and your tools really helped out. Like, hey, I solved this problem. Who do I need to talk to? So it really, like the market,
segment,
the market segmentation, and then you take the results of market segmentation and put it into your ideal client. So I guess going one level deeper on that is, your other tools, which again I haven't drilled into, like the big offer, big idea offers, things like that. All that stuff is still going to work, right? Based on, it's just I got to find the right channel to find them. But all those other tools and communications techniques are still going to work because we're still, like you said earlier, we're still all human beings.
Yeah, we're all human beings and we all generally function the same. When it comes to thought processes, we all need things, whatever they might be. Like in your case, they just need different things. They need things for their profession. So your job is to figure out, okay, what does that need look like? What's the thought process going through their head? How do I communicate that I'm the perfect solution for them? And that's where you create your messaging. That's where your funnel comes in. Grabbing their attention. Now, here's the thing. It's one thing to find them and get in front of them. It's another thing to convince them that you're the right thing for them. And this has to happen again, like I started this off in micro commitments. Everything has to be a micro commitment. Your first job in this, and B2B is really no different. It might seem different, but it really isn't in the process. It's figuring out, okay, what's their timeline? And all of the stuff really lays upon NLP because it's all pattern related. We all follow patterns since the day we're born. So what you need to do is think about the timeline of this particular person. Where are they today? What's their situation? What's their pain? What do they need to solve? What's going to drive them? And on the other end of the timeline, where do they want to be? Where would they, like, if you could have a genie and rub his belly and he gives you exactly what you want, what does that look like? Now you've got the roadmap. You or your solution needs to transport them from A to B. So when you're looking at that, you get that mapped out or at least get a clear view of it in your head. And you say, okay, what is the thing that I could give them to help them take the first step toward getting what they want? And maybe it's like the three things that you need to know to hire this person to get you, to avoid a calamity. Like avoid losing your job over hiring the wrong person, right? That's pretty solid. If you presented that, the three things you need to know to hire the right person to preserve your job, who's not going to hold their hand up and say, yeah, I'd like to take a look at that, right? That's a good thing to get them to do a micro commitment of, yes, I want that. Then click the button, where do we send it? Name and email. Now you just gave this person something really valuable. The next step is deliver it, make good on the promise, and then give them more. Like you are just put in the cool category because you just gave them something good. Right. So now this Frank Kern says this, he calls it stacking the cool. You could stack the cool exponentially by after you've given them the thing, say, hey, I just did a little video, a 5-minute video that explains how to get the most out of what I just gave you. Now they're getting to know you. They get to see you. They get to experience you. And their level of trust just went up. And as you're explaining how to get this first step taken, once they take it, their confidence level that they can get across the rainbow is going to go through the roof. And the more confidence they have that they can get what they want, and you're the one leading them to that, their demand and desire to work with you is going to go exponentially through the roof. So you're basically setting buying criteria, you're telling them how to do this. So who do you think they're going to lean on when they make the decision of, yes, I need to hire somebody for this? That is all going to roll right up the hill to you. So when you make your final call to action or your offer, the chances of them saying yes is going to be like off the charts. And it's not just about the traffic. You got to have all that stuff like in place. Like let's say you do find them and you get in front of them and you blow it. You don't have your lead magnet ready. You ask them for too big a commitment. Like you might be asking them, hey, let's do a free consultation. Like, whoa, 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 I'm not ready for you to pick me up for a date yet. Where was the coffee? So like I said, it's no different. It's no different if you're, selling a water park for $100 million or selling a snowboard for $30.
Yeah.
Same process.
So let me ask this question on the NLP side, a little bit of a tangent.
Mm-hmm.
I followed Tony Robbins for years, and I know that's his thing, right? It's NLP. Do you have a resource like, NLP 101, like NLP primer? Like, anybody got any suggestions on that?
We actually have people in the group that do NLP, like Cinda Rothman. She does NLP. You've got Jay Williams. He's an NLP trainer. He trains NLP trainers. So we've got some good resources right in the group as far as NLP. I wouldn't be one to teach NLP because I use it. I use it very, very effectively, but to a level about that big. you know. But I got to tell you, that much for me it's been a life changer in all aspects of my life. to follow patterns that work versus patterns that don't. It's been an absolute game changer. So I can hook you up with them if you'd like. Just shoot me an email and I'll make the connection for you.
All right.
I I've
Thanks.
actually talked to Jay. Jay has actually come onto our call and shared some stuff that people found very, very valuable. And I know he's over in Greece now and he's got a whole academy over in Greece where he's teaching the Greek how to do NLP. And I'm like, well, you've abandoned us Americans. What's the deal? So maybe I can reel him back in. Who knows?
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Janie.
Yes, thank you. Blessings on your travels.
Oh,
You've talked about many of the services that you provide. Who would I talk to for making changes to my GoDaddy website and hosting options and prices?
that would be me.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, I know you're really busy. What time would be good to chat?
What we should do is just set up a consult.
Okay.
How soon did you need to get that taken care of?
We can do it after you get back. That's fine.
I was going to say I could potentially do it Friday afternoon if it's a pressing thing.
Yeah, Friday afternoon would be fabulous.
Okay. Well, shoot me an email and I will send you a schedule link and we'll get you taken.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody else got anything? I love it when you guys bring stuff out because I would rather talk about what's important to you than just feel like I'm rambling. So,
Well, and you drop so many golden nuggets each time.
yeah, yeah. I've said this so many times. I have probably, well, not probably, I can tell you with no uncertainty that I have forgotten more things than I know consciously. But the deal is, they're all in there. And if you ask, I can access them. I just don't know to access them until they're requested. So don't ever be afraid to ask because what you're looking for is probably rattling around in somewhere and I can reach in and grab it.
Hey,
So,
hey, John.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Um, Way off topic, but I sent you an email this morning, which included the text of a blog entry out of the eWomen network,
Yeah, yeah.
and the text is, well, the title of the whole thing is "How to Get ChatGPT to Recommend You and
Okay.
Your Business." And it's a whole thing that, I read it and I saw the title and I said, what is this? Then I read through it and I said, I need to just get it over to John. You may want to share it with uh, those of, those of the team that are on the AIO track.
Yeah, yeah. I saw
Because,
that this morning and I was like, I
oh,
have
did you see it? Okay.
yeah, I did see it. I haven't had a chance to follow the link in there and see who it is. I'm curious to know if it's somebody that I've already talked to or not. Because
Um,
not a lot of people that are really onto this yet.
yeah, I don't know if I put the link in there because what I did was I got to the blog on the website and then I just copied the text of it
Oh, gotcha.
into the email. Um, uh,
Okay, yeah, I see it here. There isn't a link, but it's got
yeah, but I can, so the link is buried in a different email from Sandra Yancey, the head of,
yeah, yeah. I'd be
um,
curious to know
I'll,
the author.
yeah, I'll forward you Sandra's email,
Okay.
which is which has a list of links of things she wants her people to read, and one of them has got the link to this particular blog entry.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the places where this is starting to spread is the Moz directory. And Moz is a big resource center for SEO. They've been around forever. They've served the SEO community for a long time. And I noticed like about a month ago, I saw them post something related to, the search volume moving up.
yeah.
And so it's starting to come to light that this is a
Mhm.
major opportunity for optimization. So a lot of people, a lot more people today just know generically about, hey, this is a thing. Optimizing for AI is a new thing. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
some people are calling it AEO. They're
Mhm.
they're calling it AI engine optimization, but there's not people don't really refer to AI as engines. They're trying to equate it to search engine optimization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a whole group of people that are referring to it as AEO. But I don't know. Well, I can tell you for sure nobody has the set of tools that we've got with Rainmaker that's
Exactly.
actually going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, and I think I mean, so the text of the blog, it's they're wrestling with the problem based on the title,
Yeah, yeah,
but I don't think they're wrestling with it technically.
yeah,
I think that they're coming at it from, oh, as a user, how do what could you do
yeah.
to get a chat to, you know,
Hmm.
boost you up.
I,
And they make some suggestions about prompts and this, that, and the other. The thing there's no sign that this group anyway has anything like the 10,000 users
yeah.
piece, you
Hmm.
know, and that whole piece. So I saw it and I thought, gee, this isn't something for me, but it could be a hell of an opportunity to either strike a deal with the eWomen Network, which has, I don't know, 200,000 women entrepreneurs, um, of various sizes, or marketing, website or chat optimization to every one of those 200,000 eWomen members.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, here's why I'm not gonna do that.
No, not you.
No,
It,
I know, but
it's one of the AIO white labels,
yes, exactly.
right? That's the opportunity, and there are a few of those in this, probably on the call today.
Yeah, that I want to open up those type of opportunities to everyone else to be
Yeah.
able to either like sell it as an affiliate and make money off of it or white label it and sell it as their own thing and just me stay in the background like that's where I like to be. I don't need to be out in the spotlight.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah, so that is a great opportunity. I got some really good news over the last week too from my dev team, and they're actually starting to show positive results that it's actually working. So what I threw out to them to test actually was correct, and it is working.
Cool.
And on top of that, like in the AEO or AIO Dominator program, we've got tools in there that are for optimizing your website, just like for SEO. And a couple of the guys that are starting to implement that stuff, they are saying that the schema generator, where it generates schema for the AI,
Hmm.
kicking ass on SEO.
Wow.
said to their surprise, their site popped up in Google after entering that stuff, and they're like in the top slot now. So what we're doing, apparently, SEO and AIO is really coming to a lot of common ground.
Hmm.
Google is not like to get left out. They do not like to play second place.
Yeah.
Whatever is happening in AI, they're going to do their damnedest to keep up on the SEO side of things.
So, hey, John, what is this? I'm sure I missed an email in several meetings. What is this tool that we're talking about that helps with all of this optimization?
So there's a what I did was I took Quantum, you know how it's white labelable? Well, I white labeled my own and created a whole separate Quantum suite that's called the AIO Dominator suite. And it's a set of tools, just like Quantum is for marketing and general business. The AIO Dominator tools are specifically for optimizing your website for AI search capability.
Okay.
So it's a
Because
whole
I literally just launched my website last week, so
okay.
I'd like to look into doing that.
Okay. And then on top of that, we're developing, or we're actually redeveloping a tool that we've had for years called SitePop that sends user signals to a website. So Google sees that it's important. And we're flipping it now to do the same thing with AI, to train the AI. So what this thing will do, we've got like 10,000 users around the world that use it for SEO. And all of those use their own personal devices to send the signal. So it looks completely natural because it is natural. It's totally organic. So now we're able to send these signals to AI from 10,000 devices around the world. And to give you an idea of what we're doing with that is we'll take someone's product and their location. Let's say you had a pizza parlor in New York City. So we would have one of our AI bots go to an AI engine and say, what's the best pizza in New York City? And if it responded back with anything other than our pizza place, we're going to respond back to it and say, well, have you considered ABC Pizza over on 7th? Here's their website address. And now we've given it another option to look at. And then based on what it comes back with, it might come back and say, no, that still doesn't look like the best one to me. Our bot is going to reach back and say, well, that's interesting. We think it's better than the one you referred. What would they have to do to be your number one pick? And now all of a sudden it's going to give us the firing solution. Then we can take that, develop a report at the end of the month and give that to the customer and say, here's what you have to do to your site to get the AI to recommend you. And then we've got the suite of tools that will do all the things that it's going to recommend. So we'll have a whole encompassing solution for that. And when I get back, we're going to look at a hard launch of that in June that will include me doing training on how it works, how to do the on page, how to tweak your site to position it, how to do the off page, how to get all the social references because the AI is looking at all this stuff just like Google does for Google search. So I'll be doing a whole training on that will be the first of its kind. And I would imagine I used to do this. I used to have a thing called SEO reboot, and I did it once a year, and it was limited because I never wanted like a big hoorah. So I usually limited it to like 100 seats. I'd do it at a local hotel that would hold 100 people. And every time I did it, I sold it out. There wasn't one that I put on that wasn't sold out. And there was people that came from all over the world to that event. It was really cool. And I might just have to fire that stuff up and maybe I need a bigger boat that'll hold 100 people. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Well,
it.
thanks, John. Got to go to the next thing. Have a great day.
All
Appreciate it.
right, cool.
Thank you.
Hey, John. Hey, John, jumping off on that boat thing, you can rent the horn blower in Newport.
Oh, yeah.
Why pay for it if you just got to rent it and dump it?
Oh, I wouldn't just rent it and dump it. I want it for me. I want that for greedy reasons.
Oh, the Hatteras story. Don't tell the detail, but the Hatteras story without a float plan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And did you hear what happened in Miami? They sunk a Lamborghini yacht because they overloaded it with too many people.
Oh, I didn't hear about that, but
Yeah.
I know what the Lamborghini yacht is. I've seen pictures of it. It's pretty cool.
Supposedly there was a lot of social media influencers on it, and there was pictures of people taking selfies as the boat is like this in the water.
That's hilarious. That was an expensive mistake, I'll tell you what.
Is that the $4 million boat that just sunk you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
And,
crazy.
and the Miami Coast Guard is not happy.
I bet. I wouldn't imagine that they would be. All right. Well, anything else before we wrap up and I get on to my adventure here? All right. Well, thanks, guys, everybody for showing up, participating. Again, we had a small call here because I had to move the date, but I think we had some really good content that we covered. So
I got a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Is the training for the AIO ready yet?
That will be in June.
I just replied back. That'll be a
Okay.
live training with John.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll actually do that one on the fly because it's all in my head. But for me to get it out of my head and put it down to create a training, I could do it faster on the fly and we just record it and it's done. And so,
You have to get AI to do it for you, John.
well, that's the thing. AI, I've come to the conclusion that as good as AI is not as good as I am. Not yet.
Doesn't know as much.
It's just a tool.
Yeah, it's a great tool. It's a great productivity tool and it helps me, but like I was on working with Delilah this morning on her copy and she's gotten really good results and AI has moved her to the point where she would have never gotten there on her own. But I'm looking at, her stuff and I'm tweaking it for her with my tweak. And she's like, you are so much better than AI. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this game.
but
Which business is she working on with you?
She's actually working on a crypto club.
Crypto business. Yeah.
She's working on putting the promo together for her crypto classes.
Yeah, she does so many cool things.
Yeah, yeah, she's got a lot of irons in the fire.
the way I
So
explain,
I forwarded the e-women
Oh, good. I'll look.
email to you just now. Hopefully from there you can track down the link uh,
Oh,
if it's worth chasing.
yeah, yeah. I would love to know. That there's like I said, the information is getting out. It didn't necessarily happen to come from me, but it would be cool to find out if it did, because that would.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
also a note, Craig Dustwall is very connected with the E-Women group too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Last call.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then.
I want to do something special.
Okay.
Sorry. I was going to, everybody just put the word John when we get to it. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. All to John. Safe trip, safe voyage, travel well, get home safe. Thank you.
All right, you guys have a great one, and I will see you when I get back. And in the meanwhile, don't forget to come on to the calls because Brady's going to have some really cool stuff. And who knows, Connie might throw her 2 cents in as well. So,
You have a great team. Thank you. Blessings, everyone.
all right, bye
You too,
bye.
Jeannie.
Safe
Good
travels, John.
meeting you, Jeannie.